What's going on, duelists? It's your boy Nick, bringing you a combo tutorial and test hand video for my branded deck, which I just uploaded on my channel recently. If you haven't checked out that profile, please do. I'll leave a link down in the description of this video below. And like I said, this is my take on branded, and this is going to be my test hand and combo tutorial video to showcase exactly how this deck should be played. Now, there's so many combos and different things you can do with branded because it's so versatile. So I'm really only going to show you one combo in particular, which is going to utilize the Keeper of Dragon Magic, because I know a lot of people don't understand how that combo works and what benefits it gives you. So we're going to do that, and then once I showcase that combo, we're just going to start with test hands, because I think the best way to show you how the deck is played is just to show you what the hands actually look like, in my opinion. So we're going to do that. For those of you new to the channel, welcome. My name is Nick. We do Yu-Gi-Oh! Content mainly focused around rogue and casual decks alike. I do a lot of different videos between live duels, combo tutorials, deck profiles. If those are things that you like, then I highly encourage you to subscribe. I'm working my way to 1,000 subs, and I need your help to get there. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into the combo. All it requires, it's a 1.5 card combo because you just need Keeper and any discard. So we're just going to, this is a blank. The discard can be anything. So with Keeper and just any discard, I'm going to show you what this can do. So you're going to normal summon Keeper, activate the effect to discard whatever card. Then you can add a polymerization normal spell or a fusion normal spell from the deck to your hand. So you're going to go ahead and grab a copy of Instant Fusion. Now, for those of you who are fans of Rev's Cards channel, he has a combo very similar to this, which is partly where I got a lot of the inspiration from. Because, like I said, when we tested Branded or Predaplant early on, you know, we were trying to play the deck on a budget, and it just really wasn't working out to our liking. So, anyway, so you're going to grab Instant Fusion off the Keeper. Then you're going to activate Instant Fusion, pay 1,000 life points, and then you are going to Fusion Summon into a copy of Predaplant and Belomedes. My apologies if I'm butchering the name. I'll just put it here to avoid the glare. Then we will go Amblomedes effect upon its Fusion Summon. Keep in mind, Instant Fusion treats the summoned monster as a proper Fusion Summon, which is why Amblomedes triggers here. So Amblomedes gets to search for a Predap card from deck to your hand. So what you're going to grab is a copy of the Predaplant Bufalicola, which is pretty much a polymerization on legs, or at least out of the pendulum scale. Then you're going to go Amblomedes secondary effect to tribute itself to go ahead and special summon a Predaplant monster from your deck, which will be the Darlingtonia Cobra. Now keep in mind, this is just a 1.5 card combo. You just need Keeper and any discard to get here. And you can do all this before even committing to your branded fusion line, which is really cool. So you go ahead and special summon the Cobra. Cobra, upon its special summon, if it was summoned by the effect of a Predaplant monster specifically, allows you to add from the deck to your hand a polymerization spell or a fusion spell card, which is extremely powerful. Now what we're going to search here is a copy of Fusion Deployment. So we are going to go ahead and Fusion Deployment, revealing a Dragoon in our extra deck, and then special summoning a named material on that card to our side of the field, which in this case will be our copy of the Dark Magician. Now there are variances to this combo, but I just like showing you what you can do with Keeper and any discard by itself. So now what you can do is you can go Bufalicola in the scale, and Bufalicola effect allows you to fuse using material from hand or field. So we're going to take our Dark Magician and our Dragon Effect monster, and that will allow us to make a Dragoon. And that's how you get to Red Eyes Dark Dragoon in this deck, which is very, very cool. And that's literally off of Keeper and a single discard. Now, we can do all that before even hard committing to our branded fusion. So keep in mind that, obviously, if we're starting, we'll have a 5-card hand. This is just showing what Keeper and a discard does, so we'll have other cards in our hand, obviously. But this is pretty much, you know, how we can play through cards like Ash. Because if they Ash or branded fusion, well, now we have an Omni Negate to stop that. Or even cards like Nibiru, for that matter. Which is really, really cool. And there are different variances to the combo, but like I said, it really depends on what the rest of your hand looks like and what kind of disruptions you're attempting to play through, but that's pretty much the gist of how that works. And if I'm not mistaken, you did that in 5 summons, I believe, because Keeper was 1, Then you went Keeper for instant fusion, so that was your second summon. Then you third summon was the Cobra. Fourth summon was Dark Magician, and then your fifth summon was, So you already, on your fifth summon was Dragoon, so if they did have Nib, you already had the Omni Negate on field at Resolution, so it didn't even matter. So this beats Ash and Nib, before committing to your plays, which I thought was really cool. So that's the only combo I wanted to show you guys. But now to really get the full feel for how the deck actually works, we are going to do a test hand, or several test hands. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle all this back, and we're going to really get to the meat and potatoes here of how Branded plays, or at least my version of Branded. So we're going to go ahead and pile shuffle. Again, I do all these videos live. There's no editing. So this is pretty much fresh off the cuff. If we brick, we brick. I mean, that's the joys of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I want to give you guys the most real experience you could possibly have and not only show you, like, the good, because obviously the deck is strong, but like any deck, sometimes they brick. And if that happens, well, that's life. I'm not here to show you the best of the best, possible outcomes. I'm showing you exactly what playing this deck in real life would effectively be like. So just be conscious of that. I hope some people can appreciate, the raw, real experience that this channel offers. So like I said, I'm doing a little bit more shuffling here. We'll go ahead and cut the deck, and this is going to be a going first test hand. So we're going to start with 5 cards. Radian, the multi-dimensional kaiju, instant fusion, branded fusion, fusion deployment, and an Albaz. Okay, we got a full combo. The hand is nuts. Even if we were going second, we'd have a kaiju for whatever they established, and going second, we'd draw a Quem for... this hand is nuts. Anyway, so pretending we're going first, the only dead card in our hand really is the kaiju right now. So let's see how far we can get. I guess we would go instant fusion. Start off with that, see if we can try and bait some kind of interruption out of the opponent early on. We'll go for the Amblomedes, and my apologies for the glare. Hopefully you guys can see what that is. It's Predaplant Amblomedes, a level 5 Predaplant monster. Upon its fusion summon, we're going to add a Predap card from the deck to our hand, which will be our copy of Bufalicola. Then we'll go Amblomedes secondary effect, tributing itself to special summon a Predaplant monster directly from our deck, which in this case would be the Cobra. And Cobra, upon special summon by the effect of a Predaplant monster, allows us to search for a polymerization spell or a fusion spell from the deck to our hand. Now, we already have branded fusion and fusion deployment, so the search off of the Cobra isn't really going to matter much because both of these cards are hard once per turns. And we don't play, like, the traditional poly. So I think we'll probably just grab another branded fusion for follow-up, is what we'll do there. And this is what our hand looks like now. So now what we can do is we can actually go fusion deployment, revealing in our extra deck a copy of Grand Gugnall the Dust Dragon, which will allow us to special summon from our deck a copy of Cartesia. And keep in mind, we haven't even normal summoned yet. Also, if we were going second, hard opening Albaz is amazing because you can just normal Albaz, and if the opponent doesn't answer that, you can easily out about 3 cards with the Albaz because you go Albaz, fuse away one of their cards, make Mirror Jade, banish another, and then beat over something else with the Mirror Jade given that it's 3,000 attack. So that hand was also really good for if we were going second, but again, this is for going first. So we go deployment, grab Cartesia. Now what we can do here, if you have a couple of options, we can go Cartesia effect to fuse using herself and either the Cobra or herself in the Kaiju. But we may want to hold on to the Kaiju again just, for that crackback. So we'll fuse Cartesia and the Cobra, since the Cobra effectively already did its job. And we will go ahead and make a copy of Gugnall, the Dusk Dragon, triggering Gugnall's effect to go ahead and send a level 6 or higher lighter dark monster from our deck or extra deck to grave. There's a couple of things we can do here. Let's see. So this is where the combo deviates a bit. So let's send an Albion the Shrouded. You guys are going to see what we can pull off with this. So we'll go Albion effect. We can, if it's in the hand or graveyard, we can send a Fallen of Albaz or a branded spell trap from our hand or deck to grave, and then apply the following effect based on where I sent it from. So we will go ahead and dump. Let's just dump Retribution. And then, let me see something really, really fast. There's so many lines in this deck. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and dump Retribution from deck to grave off the Albion. And then, if we dumped it from deck, we can place the Albion the Shrouded on the bottom of the deck, but we do not get the draw. We only get the draw if the Albion came from hand. So we'll go ahead and use that effect to place it back in the bottom. And now, if we really wanted to take things a step further, we can actually scale the Buffalicula here, and then go Buffalicula, fusing away the Grand Gugnol and the Albaz. We'll keep the Kaiju just in case, we want to crack their board on the crackback. And we can go ahead and just make a Dragostapelia for free, because it was requires a fusion and a dark monster, which Gugnol is the fusion, Albaz is the dark, so now we can make a Stapelia. Now we can actually commit to our branded fusion line. And if this does get ashed, well, at least we still have a Stapelia, obviously, which is a negate the opponent's got to play through. We also have the graveyard effect of Gugnol, which I think a lot of people can overlook. And we have a pretty decent follow-up, because we still have a branded fusion in hand, plus the Kaiju as well. So, like I said, if this does get ashed, it sucks, but it won't be the end of the world necessarily. But assuming this resolves, we are going to be cooking here. So let's go ahead and send an Albaz. And... send a Bestial Lubellion to the graveyard. And that will allow us to make a copy of Albion, the branded dragon. We'll go Albion effect to go ahead and banish materials from our hand, field, or graveyard to fusion summon a level 8 or lower fusion monster. So we'll go ahead and banish Albaz, and we'll banish the Amblymedes since it already served its purpose. And that'll allow us to go ahead and make a Mirror Jade. Again, pardon the glare. Like I said, you guys know what Mirror Jade is, so sorry for the glare. The lighting is a little wonky, but that's Mirror Jade, obviously. Then we can go Lubellion effect out of the graveyard, tributing Albaz, or Albion, excuse me, specialing Lubellion back to our side of the field. Then we can go Lubellion effect to go ahead and place a continuous branded spell or trap from our deck to our field. So our options are either branded lost, Etude of the branded, or branded regained. So you kind of make the decision as to what you want to go ahead and place onto your spell trap zone from the deck. I mean, none of these are bad. The Etude is pretty much a pseudo floodgate. It's like a macrocosmos while it's on the field for your opponent. Then you have Lost, obviously is nice, and Regained is obviously really cool too, but I guess let's just go for a Lost. We'll put Lost. Like I said, there's a lot of branching options. Obviously, like I'm just showing you what I would do, but there's tons of different decision making that comes with playing branded. And then you pretty much pass turn. So you'd have branded fusion for follow-up on the next turn, plus a Kaiju to crack whatever board they make on their turn. But at end phase, you're going to go Albion effect, and you're going to go Cartesia to add back to hand, since a fusion was sent there to the graveyard this turn. So you not only have follow-up in the form of Cartesia as well, but then you're going to go Albion, and he's going to allow you to set a branded spell trap directly from your deck to your side of the field. So we can either set branded banishment, or set ourselves a copy of branded in red. I think we'll go for a red in this case. So we'll go ahead and set the red. And then that'll pretty much wrap up our turn. So we pretty much ended with that opening hand we had. We got a Stapelia, a Mirror Jade. We have Branded Lost with Branded in red for the opponent's turn, so we will be fusing on their turn. We got a Cartesia for follow-up, a Branded Fusion for follow-up, along with the Kaiju, again, for the crackback. And we have the Branded in red is live, obviously. But then we also have a Guggenol in graveyard, which can trigger to cheat out a Despia monster or a Dogmatica monster from our deck, which is really, really cool. So we pass turn, opponent plays, they got to play through Stapelia. We have Mirror Jade, which can trigger, to banish anything. So we can go Mirror Jade, for example, send, I don't know, we'll just send an Albion, for example, banish a monster that they control. Then if things get a little hairy, we can go Branded in red, targeting the Albaz in our graveyard, adding it to hand, and then we can just go ahead and fusion summon a level 8 or higher fusion monster by banishing the material mentioned on it. So there's a couple of things we can go into, but usually what we can try and make is a Guardian Chimera on the opponent's turn. And we could pretty much just go ahead and use the Lubellion. It already served its purpose. So we go Lubellion from field. We can go... How do I want to do this? We go Radiant, I guess. And I guess the Albaz as well. And then we can just make the Chimera to pop, and draw, which would also trigger Lost. Lost lets us search a monster that mentions Albaz in its text, which could be a Mercurier for another disruption, since we do have an Albaz fusion on field. So that's that test hand, which is obviously very powerful. So let's go ahead and run that back, and we'll do another test hand before wrapping up the video. Again, hopefully you guys are enjoying this content. This is a very cool deck, very powerful deck. Not necessarily budget, but if you guys have the means to afford the cards, it's definitely a deck that I think everybody should try playing at least once, especially if you love fusion summoning, because this deck is built to do just that. So we're gonna pile shuffle again. Again, I do this just to showcase that I'm not cheating. I'm not saying that you guys think that I am, but I give you guys the real deal. So we'll do a quick pile shuffle. Also, like I said, deck profile is going to be in a link in the description down below. So make sure you check out the profile if you haven't seen it already, because this deck goes pretty hard. Okay, go ahead and cut the deck. And this will be another going first test hand. So we got Branded in red, Branded Fusion, Albion the Shrouded, Cartesia, and Fusion Deployment. Another very powerful hand. And assuming we were going second, we would rip Retribution. It's not too bad, but again, this is assuming we're going first. So this is also what I would consider to be a full combo as well. We're going to start things off with Albion. Let's send that Retribution to the graveyard from our deck. And then since the Albion came out of our hand, we will place Albion on the bottom of the deck, and then we get to draw a card. So we'll place him on the bottom. We'll cut the deck before we draw. And we'll see what we get into. Aluber. That couldn't have worked out any better. Normal summon Aluber. Activate effect. Since we already have Branded Fusion, we're probably just going to go ahead and grab a copy of Lost. I guess we can also grab Regained as well. It really just depends on where we want to take this, but let's go ahead and grab Lost. I guess also, too, we could have, to try and play around Ash, now that I'm thinking about it, we could have also used Albion in hand to dump an Albaz. That way, if our Branded Fusion did get Ash, we could still brand it in red to Albaz back and still keep playing, but again, there's a lot of ways you can take the deck, but something to be mindful of. We didn't have to send Retribution off Albion. We could have just sent Albaz himself, achieved the same thing, and then actually had a way to play through Ash on Branded Fusion. But, we're just blessed on this channel, so, we know our opponent didn't open Ash because we're just that good. So we're going to activate Branded Lost. Then we are pretty much going to go ahead and go Branded Fusion. And like I said, we're just blessed, so we know we don't have Ash. Sending an Albaz. and a Lubellion. That's going to allow us to make a copy of Albion. I'll be on my way to the winner's circle after this resolves. Albion effect triggers. We will go banish Albaz from grave and the Aluber on field to make Lubellion. Lubellion effect. We do have to discard. I guess we can pitch the red as a free discard, so we can get it back off Retribution anyway. Then we confuse by shuffling material back. So we will grab the Albaz and Lubellion. Get shuffled back. And we will go ahead and make a copy of Mirror Jade. But now we're not done here. We're not done here at all. We are going to go Lubellion effect, tributing the Albion, specialing Lubellion. Then Lubellion will use its effect to place a branded spell trap. You can go ahead and grab something like a branded Regained. Then we can go Fusion Deployment. There's quite a couple of things we can probably do here, but I guess we can grab Albaz. Yeah, so let's we'll reveal Sanctifier because it mentions Albaz as material. We can go ahead and special the Albaz off the Fusion Deployment. Then because we control an Albaz now, we can go Cartesia, special summon herself. Then we will go Cartesia effect to fuse, using herself and Albaz. We can actually go ahead and make the copy of Sanctifier brand new out of Cyberstorm Access. Go ahead and make the Sanctifier Dragon. Then at end phase, well actually no, before we even get to that, we can go Retribution effect out of Graveyard, banish it to go ahead and take our branded in red. Add it back to our hand. You can set the branded in red now. And then we go end phase effect, Albion to set, and then Cartesia to add. Since a fusion went to grave this turn. And then Albion will allow us to set a branded spell trap, which I guess we can set a copy of branded banishment. And then that's our end board as well. And then there's a couple of cute things we can do with the Sanctifier, because it is a reborn, whether it's from our graveyard or the opponent's, which is pretty cool. And we do have an Albaz in grave and a level 8 or higher fusion, so both Branded in Red and Banishment are live, which is really nice. So we're going to be doing some fusion summoning in the opponent's turn for sure. And off the Branded in Red and Banishment, since we do have Regained on field, whatever we banish to fuse, we can take a Lighter Dark, put it back, and get a free draw for our troubles. In addition to that, we also have Loss, so when we do perform that fusion summon, we can just get a search for a Courier, for example, and just have another disruption for the opponent. In addition to that, as well, if Mirror Jade triggers, we do banish a fusion, or send a fusion from our, extra deck to grave to banish a monster on field. If that monster happens to be light or dark that we're banishing, it also triggers Regain to also put one, shuffle one back and get a draw as well, even if it's the opponent's card, which is pretty nuts. And like I said, we have the Cartesia for follow-up, plus whatever we draw for turn, which, we drew a lure, but whatever. Technically, if we search the Mercurial off Lost and we didn't Mercurial during the opponent's turn, if we did top deck Allure and Mercurial is insane because you can just go Allure, draw 2, and then banish Mercurial to get another search, which is just nuts. So that's going to wrap it up for the combos and test hands, because I don't want to make this video too long, guys. But again, as you can see, this deck is absolutely insane. It's got a very high ceiling, and it just pushes through a lot of disruption, and it's just strong. Very, very strong. So, like I said, I'll leave a link down in the description below for the profile. Check that out. I worked pretty hard on it, and I'm going to continue bringing you guys really cool Yu-Gi-Oh content. So, like I said, like, subscribe, stay tuned for more awesome content coming your way. This is Nick, signing out.